All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. As per usual, I appreciate it. But we are going to talk about people. It seems like people are panicking. I don't know. I don't know what the. I'm actually not sure why they would, but nonetheless, here we are. A lot of people. I wouldn't say everyone. I was a lot of people are flipping out over the fact that the Pope passed away. I thought this was just going to be like a one-off thing, and people were just in the moment, but nope, that is not the case. All right, all right, all right. So, Evolving Media, Little John, thank you for the 5x5. Dana, Bass, Forrest, Adam, Ozark, Elaine, Cowboy, Prep to Adapt, thank you for the 5x5. Visitor, Johnny, Smokey, thank you for the 5x5. Jeep Dog, At Peace in the Wood, Tracy, Grit and Grace, appreciate sorry, thank you for the 5x5. Cat Lady, Props, thank you for the 5x5. Troll Uptech, very nice. Nancy, thank you for the 5x5. Hey, McBean, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us. Drone, thank you for the 5x5. Sharon, Loretta, thank you for the 5x5. William, thank you for the 5x5. Mind Your Actions, I like that one. Thank you for the 5x5. So, yeah, listen, I talked about the Pope and that nonsense, him passing away and the apocalypse and all this other stuff. And I didn't think, I mean, not that I didn't think anything of it. Obviously, like, we're all paying attention to anything and everything that can happen. But it seems like, I don't know if it's a certain group of people that are panicking or people that are waking up to the fact that God exists or Jesus exists. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of people starting to flip out online. Not flip out, but they're getting a little nervous. Let's put it like that. I don't want to say they're flipping out, but let's just say they're getting nervous. And yeah, it's very interesting that somebody just said here in the chat that Jesus is coming to judge, but I don't. There's a lot of double talk, right? I mean, if Jesus is all forgiving and so is God, then how are they coming to judge us? But then if you are committing sin and you don't believe in Him, and you continue to believe in sin after or act on sin after you do acknowledge Him, can you be judged? So, there's parts in the Bible that says yes, and there's parts in the Bible that says no. Not no, but not really. William, I agree. William Pence, I said your name right? I agree. I didn't like him, like, at all. There was something about him that just rubbed me the wrong way. So, yeah. And there is a lot of, not that there is, but there's a lot of people that are seemingly nervous about this whole thing. So I don't know if they're panicking because they're like, holy shit, that the end times are coming, these scriptures are being fulfilled, what do I do next, right? So you got those people. But then you got people who are like, it's in the scripture, but this is hogwash. I don't even know why I said that. But this is nonsense. This is not going to happen. So people are up in arms. Some people are up in arms, and some people, I think, are trying to talk themselves into not believing this. Now, I wholeheartedly believe that every last one of us on this planet has a connection to God, but we try to ignore it as best as we can. As best as we can, right? And so it's there. You feel it, but you're sitting there. There's a group of people that are sitting there, and they're just willfully ignoring it. So I don't know at what point, or rather, will this come to a head? I think it will. I think we'll see more people waking up. I think we'll see more people grabbing the Bible and I think even faking it. Again, that's my belief. I think people are going to try to fake it. You cannot fake it to heaven. That's the one place you can't fake. And I also think a lot of people understand that. But I also think there's few people out there that believe that they can't. Whatever. Oh, Winter Homestead. You talking about Sinead O'Connor? Is that who you're talking about? She died like shit, man. Like, her whole, man, that was just bad. Just bad the way she passed away. And she passed away like 3 years ago now. No. Yes. I stopped ignoring it. Listen, I not that I was ignoring it, and I was fighting it, and that was the other thing too. When you're fighting the belief in God, like when you're really fighting it, and you know that there's something there, but you're like, fuck that. Why would he? And then you go down the checklist of things that do happen, that even to this day, there's some things that I'm just like, well, why would he allow it? You know, why would God or Jesus allow? And then there's a checklist of shit that you can go down. If the next pope is called Peter the Roman, I think things just got real. Yeah, Dr. D. That's why a lot of people are like, holy shit, you know? Like, if that happens, it's on, and it's going to be on. But I think, again, it's going to be a build-up to it. I don't think it's going to be a sudden, like, light switch, and all of a sudden we're going to be in the middle of the apocalypse screaming and crying. I don't think it works that way. I don't think anything actually works that way, but whatever. You don't need a church to be close to God. Church is a place. God is everywhere. King Corsa, thank you for pointing that out. Do you? All right, no, forget. I'm not going to go down that road. But yeah. And listen, the one thing I know about atheists, like I was for a long time, you know, like he's got to be real, but, and then I was, again, went down a checklist of buts. But I always still keep in the back of my head, like, what if he doesn't exist? Like, what happens if we were told he didn't? The pandemonium that would break out if we were told he didn't exist because it was some, like, another being, for example, or something that created us. What would be the reaction on this planet? And one person had said a long time ago in a video that if people were to be told that God didn't exist, but that aliens created us, the apocalypse would begin that day because people would break down. And a lot of people would break down, and then other people would start acting like savages. So this guy went down this whole thing on societal breakdown if that was to ever happen, or if that did happen. Not that it would. Drone Professional says my voice keeps cutting out. Hold on. Break down, and then other people will start acting like savages. On societal breakdown. No, he's... Yeah, you're right. Why am I cutting out? Not that it would. Give me a second. Drone Professional says my voice keeps cutting out. Yeah, I'm hearing it on my end too. And then other people will start acting like savages. Let's see. See if I can cut some shit out. Of course, my internet connection's on the floor. Give me a second. So hopefully that's fine. Yeah, I'm hearing it. Yeah, let's see if the refresher thing works. All right, hopefully that works. Of course, my internet connection's on the floor. So hopefully that's fine. All right. Let's see if the refresher thing works. All right, your volume keeps cutting out. Yeah, so it's affecting not everyone, some people. So refresh it if you can. That works. Yeah, I refreshed it on mine and it's working now. I did have a problem with my internet the other day. The Spectrum gave me a warning. You know, your internet's acting wonky. But yeah, so it's affecting not everyone, some people. So refresh it if you can. All right, we should be good from now. Yeah, I refreshed it on mine and it's working now. Jonathan, the people are panicking over the fact that this whole the Bible, God, Jesus, all could be real. And I think people are starting to panic in a sense that if God is real, all the sinning they did and all the things that they did wrong might come back to bite them on the ass. So people are flipping out over that. And yes, Jason, yes. Panicking is for the Bitch Nigga Network. So if you... I don't have echo on my part, Dana. Might come back to bite him on the ass. So people are flipping. Oh, okay. The echo is the. I turned it down. That's my live stream on my thing. Still cutting for me. Okay. Let me know if the echo is gone. Oh, okay. The echo is the. I turned it down. That's my. We hear your iPad. Okay, yes, the iPad's off now. You're replying now. Hopefully that's gone now, because I didn't hear it when I turned it up. Gone. All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was my iPad. Excuse me. Sorry. All right. So, I think that's what people are starting to panic about. I think that there are more and more people, and then to be fair, those of us who do believe in God and Jesus, whether we go to heaven or not, I think we'll understand and we'll be fine. We'll have a lot of fighting or whatever it is that needs to be done, but we'll be okay. But those who are not okay or waking up in the last moments, they might not be okay. But I don't. Here's the problem with this. Not the problem. Excuse me. I'm trying to speak not delicately, but don't want to say the wrong things in this regard. I think people don't know how to handle what's going to happen next. It's one thing, guys, if the end of the world happens and it's a nuclear attack or an asteroid hits a part of the world and darkens the sky, or the greatest cyber attack known to mankind happens. That's shit that we can somewhat deal with, unless you were on the side of the planet that got hit with the asteroid. But we can deal with that. But dealing with something that can ultimately put you in a bad place for a long time, that's what scares a lot of people. And I think that's where the panic is coming from. The panic is coming from regards of, I fucked up my whole life. Am I going to hell? Right? Though I seemingly think hell is a state of mind, because there are two stories being told. There's one story of hell being a place of dark, sinister yelling and screaming and torture. Then there's another story of it being a place of hot heat and torture and burning and constant burning that just doesn't go away. But then there's a third one. And the third one is a place where you're in this somber but really, really depressive, sad area, location. I don't know where it is. And people are just wallowing in their pity constantly. And so it's almost like a constant state of depression. But again, those are the three places I heard from people who've passed away and talked about what they saw on the other side. The problem is with people on the other side is that your brain picks up the last thing it heard or think or always thought. Oh, shitballs. Nah. I think I'll forego the overtime tomorrow morning. But, anyway, sorry, just saw some overtime pop up. But I think, guys, that whichever three it might be, Steven says it's called limbo. Right. And so one guy spoke about it in depth, that depression spot, that place where you're constantly sad or in depression or in limbo, and it's complete darkness. He explained that there is a way to get out of it, but you have to figure it out for yourself, almost like it's a test. And I'm like, man. So anyway, it's a very interesting thought process. Maybe hell has different levels for different sinners. That's a good. Who the hell just said that? But no more lies. That could be it. But again, we have people panicking about a lot of shit, right? So You have people panicking about the Pope death. People are just taken back by it. They're like, they don't know what to think. They're like, what am I going to go to hell now? Am I going to do this? You know, so you got people doing that. The mumbo jumbo talk, I like to call it. And then you have people who are constantly being scared about the Third World War or nuclear war and how that can happen at any time. Now, I'm starting to believe, guys, that the talk of nuclear war was just theater, was just the Russian leadership talking about the Third World War. Now, there is a guy in the Russian leadership that is dead serious about launching nukes. He wants to set it off. And every time I see him, it looks like he's foaming at the mouth to push that button. Because he wants to use that as the end-all, be-all. Like, if we don't get our way, we're just launching shit. I think you guys know his name. I want to say it's like Malachi, or not Malachi. Some Russian name, like Ivan, Mikhail, whatever his name is. He's like he's like Putin's right hand. And he wants to set that shit off. So you got people worried about that, too. People are constantly asking me, what if the bombs drop, what do I do? I'm like, depends on where you are, man. Either you're going to be ready for it, and you're gonna mow through it, or you're going to die because you're gonna melt. You choose. It's a shitty answer to give people, but there's no other way to talk about people. I mean, like, there's just, yes, there it is. I was way to fuck off, but thank you, Medvedev. But that's the guy, right? Thank you, guys. He is bad. That guy is looking to set some shit off. I think he's just like, he's chomping at the bit, man. Like, he's waiting for Putin to pass away, and his first day, he's gonna boom, hit the button and just set it all off. Dimitri, thank you, Jason. So what people? The slow and ignorant. Monkey show. Yeah, I guess. Listen, guys, keep in mind, this is the one thing I understand about sinners and people doing bad shit. For those of us who believe in it, to take the high ground of, am I cutting in and out again? Monkey show. Yeah, I guess. Listen, guys, keep in mind, this is the one thing I understand about sinners. The one thing I understand, guys, is that people have been conditioned over the last few hundred years to embrace sin. And so we start to think that things are okay, but it's not. And you hear it in the language all the time. And people, Tristan, thank you for the donation. People will sit there and tell you, for example, the LGBT lifestyle is okay because it doesn't hurt anybody. That's a sin, right? Laying down with kids, they're trying to make that okay. That's a sin. Stealing from other people, when they were rioting in the summer of love, they were like, well, those are people taking back what's theirs and what they deserve, whatever that means. Stealing's a sin. Banging somebody else's wife, well, she wasn't getting it at home, so I was volunteering my services to give it to her. That's a sin. So there's so many sins, and we have over a long time been told that certain things are okay because it doesn't hurt someone else. And that's the excuse for sinning. So, all right, thank you guys. Thank you on the 5x5. Appreciate it. And so we have been brainwashed for a long time. But those who are believers, and listen, I hate to tell people this, but a lot of you were believers from the first day you were born. And every time someone tried to throw some bullshit at you, you fought that bad feeling. And if you had that bad feeling, whether it was watching porn or, again, cheating on your wife or cheating with a married woman, you know that that's bad because it's in the back of your head. It's lingering. It's chomping away. And you're fighting it. But the simple fact that you're fighting it, you know that it's wrong. But you continue to do it anyway because you sit there and go, well, at least I didn't kill anybody. And that's what they hang their hat on now. So now, and I'm not trying to turn this into a sermon because I am not that dude. But yes, Scott Rush. It's a lack of morals, and morals have been being picked at for the last a long time. I wouldn't even know how many years it's been, but it's been a long time. Let's just say since I was a kid, our morals have been collapsing, and even more within the last probably 10 years or so, 20 to 10 years, 10 to 20 years, excuse me. And it's diminishing because we're accepting bullshit that we should not be accepting. So here we are. Jonathan, that means banging kids because I can't actively say it on here. That's what I mean. Can you listen, guys? I try to talk in different ways so I don't get tagged on the YouTube radar. That's why I say it the way I say it. Jonathan's like, what does that mean? What do you mean, Lane? What does that means? Whatever. You feel it in your Brian, exactly. You feel it in your gut is wrong. You feel it in your gut a lot of things are wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's also for guys. There's also that wrong feeling you feel when you're about to do some dumb shit that's gonna get you hurt. You know deep down inside you're not supposed to do it, but you do it anyway. You go down that hill on your skateboard, or you go down on your scooter, and you know that there's traffic at the bottom of that hill, but you're like, fuck it, and then there's also that bad feeling that you fight, but we do it anyway. And those are two different feelings, though one side is telling you, you're going to get mangled if you go through with this. But as a man or a kid, you're like, fuck it, and then, you know, like you go down the hill head first. Or you get into a crate and you slide down the stairs. You know damn well that's going to hurt, but you do it anyway. Those are the things that we fight over the years. We fight the bad things that are morally wrong. We fight the bad things that are physically wrong, right? And we do this our entire lives. And then you get old, like the age of 40, and you realize, yeah, maybe going down that crate in the stairs is not a good idea anymore. Well, because also you're older and you don't want to end up in a hospital and miss days of work, whatever. That's a different subject altogether. That's called men idiocracy. We do dumb shit all the time. But nonetheless, guys, we are fighting. We're fighting with evil and bad all the time. And the older you get, you start recognizing it in people. And those are the people you look at and you go, yeah, nah, I'm not going to fuck with this dude. Like, not at all. So I think we fight this for a long time. And we fight it all the time. Better not criticize the ones who can't criticize. Is that the dead? But I guess, yeah. Smoking bud and Christ? Is that what you're saying, SDK? The whole smoking weed thing I'm out on. I just think that that's something that they're allowing to happen because it makes everybody docile and stupid. And it does. It really does. You know? Scott Rush, 40 is young, but 40 is not young when you want to do dangerous shit. You know? Like, I remember jumping out of a window onto a trampoline that I should not have done. But the better side of me, the worst side of me got to me was like, how bad could it be? Yo, I jumped out of a window and landed on this accordion. Listen, just a tidbit of information. When you jump out of a window onto a mat or something, you have to jump out with your body hitting the mat. Don't jump out of the window feet first. Because I did that and it sucked. I was in pain for a couple days. Because your feet automatically want to go underneath you to catch yourself. And I landed on my feet and my body became an accordion. And the pressure was so much that the watch I had on my wrist exploded. Went through the fucking thing. I had to jump down to get my fucking watch. It was the dumbest thing to ever do. But nonetheless, we do a lot of dumb shit as kids and then even as adults. When it comes to doing stupid shit, stunts and shit like that. Like jumping off a cliff that's in God's country and going, I got this. I watched the guy do that in the video, and man, when he left the ledge, I knew exactly what was going to happen next. He hit the fucking rock at the bottom. He didn't jump out far enough. It's shit like that. That's like, that might be conceived as, or perceived as young man shit, but that's still dangerous because in the back of your head, something's telling you, no, don't do it, don't do it. And then you go, fuck it, and then you go off the cliff, and then something bad happens. You're like, shit, I shouldn't have did it. What do you think about Cardinal Sarah? What is that, Miguel? What is a Cardinal Sarah? I don't even know what that is, and I'm hoping it's not what I think it is. Adrenaline is the fountain of youth. Embrace it. Scott Rush, I do. When I go to a fire, that's when I embrace my adrenaline. When we go into the fire and the shit's fucking getting crazy, or it's a top floor job and it's fucking rolling in a cockloft, I'm not trying to be, but you get excited. Like, you're like, yes. And for a lot of us, we're like, yo, get some. Like, that is the shit that makes you fucking get excited. Like, your dick gets hard, you're so excited. When you hear this job is at the top floor, and they're calling for multiple alarms now, they're like, bang out a second alarm, bang out a third. When you hear third and fourth alarm, you know the shit is good. Now, a good fire is when it gets that high, but no one gets, like, badly hurt or no one dies. Those are good fires. And that's insanity. When shit starts, and you're in a situation where you're like, no, this could turn out to be bad, guys. And you start smiling. And you start smiling because, yo, this is fucking, that's the adrenaline that's the adrenaline that I like. All right, so whoever said they needed closed captions, I will do it on my next live stream. Once the live stream starts, I cannot implement it. I think I can implement it afterwards, but I don't think I can implement it now. Because I'm already live, to my knowledge, but I should give me a second. But anyway, that's the kind of adrenaline. That's the kind of bad shit. But the adrenaline thing is fun, and a lot of people seem to think we're psych patients for wanting to be in a bad environment. I'm like, yo, it's fucking fun, man. Like you don't. It's hard for me to explain to you what being a fire in and how fun it is. It's like the most fun in the world. It's the most fun in the world. And that adrenaline that you feel, you can't beat that. But I can't. You have to be in a fire. You have to do what we do for this to for it to make sense. Because right now it's like, yeah, I thought my closed caption was on. Yeah, it is on. I have it. It's been on already. So it probably play afterwards, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's on already. Can't do closed caption on live. All right, thank you, Jason. Yeah, so afterwards the closed caption will come on. Sorry, for whoever posted that. But anyway, guys. So we do know I'm right from wrong, and listen. I also believe that God does tell you not to do dangerous shit, like jumping out of a fucking plane. But that's also fear, kicking in. But when we go to fires, man, it's just, it's exciting. And that's the adrenaline. And that's all the adrenaline I need. I do want to jump out of a plane. But that's a different story for a different day. But going to a fire, man, that shit is fucking fun. What you call it? You can't do closed caption here. It's not available right now. Closed caption, no closed caption available for this video. It's not available for live. It's available afterwards. So sorry about that. But yeah, man, I tell you, the couple of fires I've been in where I was in some shitty situations, it was fun. It was fun. How would you jump out of a window? Amanda, we have a device. Oh God, I forgot what it's called. I'm drawing a blank. But we have a device on our hips, and it allows us to hook into a window frame, or tie off to something in a room that's substantial, and then bail out of the window. That's jumping out of a window. It's a personal life-saving harness. That's what it is. Sorry. Oh yes, I saw the movie Conclave. That was That was a good movie. I didn't like that ending though. That ending was kind of full of shit. But anyway, do your sign language live. If I knew sign language, I would. I probably would be like, you know. But then you gotta like do like the faces when you do sign language too. Like you gotta go and like shit like that. But anyway, not getting into it. So yes, guys, there is an adrenaline junkie side. Every firefighter. No, I'm sorry. A lot of firefighters. That's how adrenaline boosts, man. What is your scariest moment you had in a fire? The moment, it was a few years back where I thought we were gonna have to bail out of the window. I thought we were all gonna have to fucking go. I was like, shit, this is gonna suck. This is gonna blow. But we didn't, and it wasn't a bad fall. It was only 2 stories. Like we would have survived if we would have jumped out. It would have sucked, but we would have survived. It wouldn't have been like the end of the world kind of shit, you know. Do you still go on medical calls in NYC? TK, yes, we do. We still go on medical calls. The engine companies go on medical calls. Truck companies don't. But if I'm working in the engine, then I go on the medical calls. But yeah, the bailing on the windows. And we had our personal life-saving harnesses on us, but I don't think we were all going to hook in fast enough to bail out of the window. So there was that situation. And again, still fun. Still fun. Jason Pakistan killed tourists. Is there a guy named Jason Pakistan, or is Pakistan killed tourists from India? There's been a lot of that going on. There was just something the other day where a bunch of tourists were just killed. Was that it? Was that the one? What happens if China sides with Pakistan against India? Then the shit's gonna be on. Yeah, but listen, it's a fun job. I try to convince, like, my son, before he passed away, he was talking about joining the FDNY, and I was telling him like how fires are fun, and the adrenaline and the shitty situations you can get in, and panic and fear can normally kill a fireman. When you start panicking, you're in a zone that you don't want to be in. So I explained that to him, and he seemed really excited about it. He was just like, "Really?" I go, "Yo, it's exciting." I said, "Don't get me wrong. You can get in some situations where you're scared, like you're like, holy shit, I'm about to die, right?" And the last time I had that serious thought process was the Trade Center, when I thought I was going to get crushed by the building. I was like, "Shit, I'm going to die." There's nothing you can do. But Jason said it's looking pretty bad over there. No shit. I haven't been paying attention. There's so many things to pay attention on. I wasn't paying attention to that. I'll look into this after that. But China, if I'm not mistaken, has already sided with Pakistan. If Pakistan and India are getting serious. Listen, thank you, Pepper. I'm not really surprised by that, but was that the whole tourist thing? Didn't like a bunch of tourists I don't know where they were, but I just saw a bunch of tourists that passed away. Old Mutt said, "Hey, Old Mutt, thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate it." And he goes, "Trying to whitewater kayaking in my 60s was fun until my shoulder injuries." Yeah. Listen, man, we all like being... Lexi, no. 9/11, like a building coming down on your head. Northern Hillbilly, it's all right. A building coming down on your head is really, really fucking not fun. And, like the adrenaline's going, and you're just like, yo, and I remember there was a part of me when I was running from the buildings. I remember one thing out of everything else: please don't piss yourself while you're running, because you don't want to be dead or found dead with a piss stain on your pants. Though it would have probably been days before they found me. That was the one thing I was thinking when I was running. Please don't piss yourself. Please don't piss yourself. Because who wants to be found dead with a piss stain on him? This man pissed himself before he died. No, thank you. So, yeah. So, again, talking to my son about that, he seemed so excited about it. So when he took his life, I was so disappointed. And I'm still disappointed. I'll be disappointed for the rest of my life. But my point is that I explained to him what the job was. and he was excited about it. I'm like, yo, this shit can get real, but you can also, you can also lose your life, and you have to understand that. I worked with some guys, man, that they lost their lives, and you're like, how the fuck did that happen? But it happens, right? So it's the downside of this job. You piss yourself anyway when you die because the body relaxes. Well, not all the time. Intuitive. I've come across a lot of bodies, and maybe one or two have relieved themselves, but not all of them. Like again, nobody wants to die with shit in their underwears, because you fucking piss yourself. He shit himself, and you don't want to remember as that guy. Like the guy that was diddled when he died in the train. The guy was diddled. Like that guy's gonna forever be the diddle dude. He died, and then some guy banged him while he was. Man, you don't want to die like that. And then you watch videos of ways certain people pass away, and you're just like, man, that was rough. Like, imagine passing away like some dumb reason, like the kid who was trying to do pull-ups on the side of the building in China, I think it was, or Korea. He was doing pull-ups, and then you could see that he was nervous, like he wasn't even okay with it. And he did it in multiple videos. You can always see that he was nervous, and he was like, and he did one pull-up, and he couldn't anymore. And it was like the energy left his body, and he couldn't get up, and he just let go. He 50 stories or some shit like that, 60 stories. So yeah, man. Dan Rose, how accurate is the movie Backdraft? So Backdraft is not that accurate. Now, it's accurate, but then it's not. So there's two sides of it. Kurt Russell's character, Bull, or McCaffrey, fighting a fire with his jacket open, axe in hand. He's an officer, so he's not supposed to have an axe or anything in his hand. That's one. Two, you don't fight with your jacket open. You keep it closed, and you have a Scott pack on. The movie was done in that way, and Bull was done in that manner because Ron Howard, who directed the movie of Backdraft, loves firefighters, loves us, right? And so Bull was his superhero, and that's why Bull had that attitude. And there are a lot of firefighters. We have that go-get-it attitude, but we're not going into fires with our jacket open. Now, have I done it before? Yes. But when you get closer to the fire or you start feeling the heat, you want to buckle up. And it's always good to buckle up ahead of time so that you're not doing it in the fire. But putting your mask on, all of that, that's what's needed so that you can breathe nicely and, and you're going in blind. You can't see shit. Like if it's heavy smoke, if it's banked down, you're not seeing anything. In the movie Backdraft, they couldn't give you the sight of a firefighter, which is seeing nothing for the most part. We have gone to fires where you can't see it rolling in the ceiling, you can't see it running up the walls into the ceiling because the smoke has been alleviated or vented and the heat's been lifted and vented, and now you can see what you're dealing with. But the movie's partially accurate and then it's not in some. Like having sex on the back of the engine on a bed of hoses, nope, that doesn't happen. The beds are not designed that way, like ever, They have slots. You got a first due bed, second due bed, and then you have the 2.5. 2.5 for reserved for taxpayers and homes. How accurate is Chicago Fire? Fuck that show. Seriously, I hate that show. Fucking Chicago Fire, that bullshit. I don't even want to talk about it because it's just going to piss me off. But it's a drama, so they focus on the drama, but the firefighting there is dumb. It's the dumbest thing in the fucking world. And people believe it. People, I love Chicago Fire, it's so real. It's fucking not real. I don't want to get started. Because it's such a shitty show. All the bullshit in that show, fuck them. J-Flo said Steven Buscemi was a firefighter. He was. Downtown Manhattan. He was a Manhattan fireman. So not really a fireman, per se. But anyway. But yeah. Fuck that show. You've been rated by Bear Nation. That's very good. Thank you. Have you saved animals? I have saved animals. Not saved animals. I don't want to say that. But we have gotten a cat off a building before that. I don't know how it got there. And there was a buddy, one of the guys, younger at the time, got a parakeet off a ledge. I don't know how the parakeet got there either. But We've done shit like that every now and again. It's few far in between. When I first got to the firehouse, we did that more often. We were saving like cats and dogs and shit like that were in like peculiar positions. You're like, how the fuck did he get up there? But that's when, we got that. We've done that before. Hello. 5 needed tomorrow day in the 3rd Battalion. I am on it. Hopefully after this live stream. I really don't want to work tomorrow, but I should. But they're calling for bodies all over the place. Rescue Me, it was okay. The Rescue Me caught the Firehouse antics. They got that down packed. They got most of it down packed. But again, as far as fires goes, it's hard to capture it. But I mean, I could put some videos on the community board so you guys can look at it. That's what it is. But you, again, looking at it on TV and going in are two different things. TK, yes, you do get more calls on full moons. At least EMS and PD does. They get way more calls on full moon. Now, for those of you that don't know, New York City, guys, is running rampant with homeless and psych patients. It's getting really bad on that end. The crime aspect, Dan Rose, I will do a movie review on the backdraft on the Angry Film Critic. Give me about a month to get that channel back up and running again. But there are an absorbent amount of homeless people and psych patients running amok in the streets. The crime that's going up is not skyrocketing anymore, it seems to be leveling out. But the homeless and the psych patients, that's a good idea, by the way, hosting a firefighting show. I would do that. If some of the guys in my firehouse or guys I know would do a live stream, I would absolutely do a live stream with them, because that would be interesting talking to other guys. But the things that are being done on the streets is getting worse. There are unprovoked attacks almost all the time now across the country. Pure Ballistic, man, thank you for the donation. And it's getting dangerous in that aspect. We're definitely seeing more people do crazy shit, man. And I'm going to tell you something right now. We're responding to more calls of psych patients in their homes being fucked up. So last night, for example, we responded to a call, and we got to the door. It was a water leak, so it wasn't a fire, it was a water leak. And we got to the door, and automatically, red flag number 1, there were no locks on the doors. There was no handle, there was no locks on the doors. This is the out of the door. And we go up, we knock on the door. And so I told the guy that I'm with, a younger guy, I'm like, do me a favor, stand back. I'll go in if anything. Just stand to the side, because I didn't like the way the whole thing just felt wrong. So anyway, the person goes, yes. I'm like, ma'am, do you have a water leak? She goes, no, I don't have a water leak. I said, could we please check this to make sure? So before we go back downstairs, she goes, okay. With that, the door starts opening up, and we hear metal and shit sliding. We're like, what the fuck is going on? Is it a barricaded EDP? Now, for those who don't know, EDP is emotionally disturbed person, right? So we hear, I thought I heard rebar and a sword and fucking, release the Kraken. I don't know what the fuck was going on in there. And this is in an apartment building. This is not in a tenement. This is an apartment building like mine. Keep that in mind. So the door opens up, and the chick sticks her head behind it. No, I just finished taking a shower. It's a dude. It's a transgender. All right. So then we go into the apartment, and I look over to my left. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I look, and I was like, yo. And I'm like, what the fuck? The kitchen was a fucking nightmare. A nightmare. Yes, Miguel. Used Narcan a couple times. The one that goes up the nose, not the direct, needle. And so I'm like, what the fuck is that? And the kitchen looked like it had AIDS. If a kitchen ever had AIDS, that's what the kitchen would have looked like. And then there was a rat on the counter. I'm like, yo, I told the kid, yo, stay there at the door, because if it gets crazy in here, I'm gonna be screaming for help. You're gonna have to come and get me. We both can't be screaming for help. So anyway, I walk in a little more. The living room is fucking shot. Shot. There was underwears and shit and garbage all over the place. So then I reluctantly go to the bathroom to make sure that there's no water on the floor, there's nothing coming down from above, and the bathroom was clean in that aspect, but it wasn't. It was dirty too. Now the crazy shit is that most people who present themselves as clean, this transgender dude was clean for the most part. He didn't have the crazy look. He wasn't all like, oh, fucking, his demeanor or appearance didn't match that apartment. And there were two other bedrooms that I was not gonna fucking check out, because I'm like, what if I go back there and I die, or dude hits me over the head and rapes me or some shit. I'm like, I'm out on this. So we made sure that there was no water coming down the walls, and I looked at the kitchen again. I go, ugh, and I walked out of there. That was the top 5 worst apartment. I mean, like, I don't know what the fuck was on that stove. That might have been herpes on the stove, because I've never seen anything before. No, Jonathan, that's the thing. This dude didn't have that look that matched the apartment. Like, when you have a shitty apartment like that, the person always matches that. This dude didn't match that. Very clean, presented well, was like, it was wild. It was like walking into the fucking Matrix. It was like clean looking dude, disgusting herpes, AIDS apartment. Garbage everywhere. There was food. J-Flo, that's why I didn't want to walk to the back. I don't want to see a gimp back there. Some shit from Pulp Fiction. Like we're gonna get medieval on this dude. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to see it. I don't want to fucking know anything about it. Done. I wanted to walk the fuck out of there. Yes, check please. Yeah, exactly. Check please. I'm like, yeah, get me the fuck out of here. And then we walked out. We're like, what the fuck was it? Yo, the rat on the fucking, I think the rat had fucking herpes too, or probably COVID. But whatever was going on in there, nothing matched. Nothing made sense. And I was just like, and the kitchen looked like it had AIDS. Oh my God. I was just like, why is this happening? Why I mean, like, listen, I've been to apartments where, like, bed bugs and roaches everywhere. Everywhere. It was just fucking, Johnny, I didn't even want to open that fridge. Like, I didn't have to. There was no need for me to do it. Nonetheless, no, absolutely fucking not. No. There's no way. Like, if you told me I had to check out the rest of the apartment, I would have fucking made a strong stance of no. The fucking cases of no's would have been flowing freely with me. No, I'm not doing it. There's no need to. Why the fuck would I want to crawl in there and like, if it was a fire, then we do what we have to do. But the fact that there wasn't a fire and that apartment said, STDs written all over it. Like, if I would have fell on the floor, and if I would have walked in there and fell on the floor, I would have told the kid, leave me behind. Save yourself, man. I'm done. And then I would have just molded into the ground, because I don't even know what the fuck was on the floor. I was like, what is this? It was fucking bad, man. It was just like, and I don't understand how people live like that. How? How do people live like that? Like, this fucking dude was fucking fine with living like that. Holy shit, man. No, Mabutu's apartment was probably cleaner than that shit. That was bad. That was bad form, man. Yeah, 3 of 9. That, you're right. We probably duct tape the boots. It was fucking crazy. It was just like, it was the top 5 worst apartments I've been in. Again, one apartment where the lady was laying on the floor and she had like roaches and bed bugs on her, and she had shit all over the apartment. I've never in my entire career up until that day had to go take a shower after being in somebody else's apartment. The lady that had the bed bugs and roaches on her. She was laying on the floor with the roaches and bed bugs. She was like nestled in her spot on the floor because she fell, and I think she said she's been there for a week. She wasn't there for a week, but she was on the floor and she had shit crawling all over her. She was just like, "I'm okay." I'm like, "No, the fuck you're not. You are not okay, lady. I'm alright. Just get me up. If we pick you up off that fucking floor, we're taking you to the fucking hospital. We're not gonna leave you here to be okay." It was a fucking dumpster fire in that apartment. And it wasn't a fire, it was just garbage everywhere. I mean, like, I looked over a dune of garbage and I was like, what is going on in that living room? Everything she's collected within the last 20 years was in her apartment. I went back and I was like, I looked in the hallway, I couldn't even fucking see down the hallway. I don't even know how she got to the bathroom. There was a small pathway. She had to hop on one foot maybe to get to the back, but I was like, fuck this apartment. Yes. And that's the thing. When you walk into an apartment like that, somebody just said it. It's mental illness. Clearly is. It's mental illness to its finest. Because, seriously. I never had to take a shower before. Like, never. Like, you go to a fire, you take a shower. You want to get that shit off you, fine. But when you go to somebody's apartment and it's that bad, I was scrubbing like a motherfucker. I took a Brillo pad out and fucking scraping the skin off my body, man. That's one that if I would have fell on that floor, just leave me there. Just like, he was a good Negro because, like, that's my obituary. He was a good Negro. He died under the circumstances of bed bug, roaches, and whatever the fuck was on that floor. Holy shit, man. That was bad. That was I think, number one. That had to be number one. Top fucking 5. That was the top 3. That was number 1. That lady laying on that floor, nestled in her fucking roaches and bed bugs. The shit was jumping all over the place. I was like, we gotta. And so, not housing. The mental health people were there. And they were like, she needs to go to the hospital. I snapped my fucking head around. No fucking shit, she has to go to the hospital. Like, after we cracked the door open, we looked inside. I was like, what do you think? We're going to leave her there? No, she has to go to the fucking hospital. We can't. Fuck that, man. Seriously. Exfoliating times 1,000. I was going to dip myself in acid if I could. Just fucking acid bath. It was bad, man. It's all bad. Like, I'm the top 5, one apartment I go to, we get in there, and the lady's like, her son is trapped in the back bedroom. So that's the bedroom door. This is made of wood. You could lean on it just enough and break it open. This is what most of these doors are made of. They're made of fucking bullshit like plywood, right? All right, that being said, we get to the door, and first of all, walking through the apartment is dirty. The floor looks like it hasn't been cleaned in 6,000 years, right? And so the floor is super fucking dirty. And reminds me, I gotta mop these floors now. And it's super dirty. And there's a fucking sandwich on the floor. Smashed. As if people walked over it for the last 25 fucking days. A sandwich on the floor. And I'm like, I'm walking in the apartment, I'm looking how dirty it is. I'm like, is that a fucking sandwich? And she goes, yes. And continues to walk to the back bedroom instead of picking it up. All right. So we get to the back bedroom, pop the door open, and I leaned on it. I didn't have to use my tool to get it open. Just popped it open. And the fucking bedroom was a mess. And there was kids in there. But the kids were playing video games, as if they were not worried about being trapped in the bedroom. I don't know what kind of sandwich it was. It looked like a ham and cheese sandwich. Again, it was flat. They were walking over it. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Why? Yeah, hard pass on a floor sandwich. Big time, man. Susan said, I was a dispatcher and retired with the greatest hits tape. Really? That must be fun. Some of the shit that's on there. I'm telling you, like, just some of the psych patients. I told you guys some of the story. The guy that was, the guy that called 911 because he wanted a sandwich. And we took that call. And I took the call because we had, this is when I was driving the ambulance. This is when I was an EMT. This is 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago now, sorry. And we respond to the call, and the guy's blasting music. We can hear the fucking music on the first floor. He is on 9 or 10. Blasting music. Get to the apartment door, knock on the door. We had to wait for a break in the song. So we waited 2-3 minutes. Banging on the door, I'm fucking kicking this shit like there was fucking money on the other side. He opens the door. He's like, who is it? I'm like, it's EMS. He's like, what do you want? I was like, you fucking called us. And now I lose my shit. Like that. I'm like, you fucking called us. He's like, he opens the door. He's like, you guys brought a sandwich with you? I go, what? He goes, you bring a sandwich. Yo, his apartment was pitch fucking black. I couldn't see anything inside. He stuck his head into the light. It was like we're looking into hell. I'm like, how did you get it that? I don't want to care. So I asked him, how did you get it that dark? But saying, and he's wearing shades in a dark ass apartment, dancing the music because he goes, did you bring a sandwich? I go, why the fuck would we bring a sandwich? He goes, well, I've been dancing and I'm a little hungry. Calls the fucking again, I'm gonna whip your fucking ass. And then he was like, and then he closed the door, and then that was it. And he blasted his music again. And I was like, and the neighbors, if I was his neighbors, I would have been kicking his door and beating his ass. His music was so fucking loud, you can hear it from the first floor. I told him, call us again for that shit. I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. And he was like, and he closed the door. I was like, you wanna fucking see crazy? We're gonna get fucking crazy. Because that was some bullshit. Purple Revelator, thank you. Like calling on for a sandwich? What are we fucking, and Uber Eats and that shit didn't exist then. So, he was ahead of his time, calling 911 for a sandwich. I was like, this motherfucker. Yo, I lost my shit maybe twice in EMS. And the first time didn't really count as losing my shit. I had lost my patience. Maybe I was losing my shit. But we were in this guy's apartment and there were roaches everywhere. Everywhere. He had a symphony of roaches on his wall and on the ceiling. So he's talking to us. He's like, oh, I don't feel too good. Yeah, I just got out of the hospital. I'm like, when did you get out of the hospital? He goes, I got out of the hospital 2 hours ago. And you thought you were going to feel better in 2 hours? He goes, well, the medicine's not working. When did you start taking the medicine? An hour ago. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you that fucking stupid? Again, I lost my shit. Stupidity with me, it don't mix. Oil and water, man, don't mix. And so I'm like, you fucking out of your mind? And then a roach fell on my head and down my neck. I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I was like, yo, I said, call us back again for this fucking bullshit. It's gonna be a fucking problem. And at the time, I only had 2 years on in EMS. I was like, you can't be this fucking stupid. Give it a fucking week, and then we'll come back if you don't. Or better yet, take your 2 fucking legs that are not broken and walk your ass back to the hospital. He was like, you don't have to be rude. I'm like, you're about to see rude in 10 seconds. And my partner was like, no, get out of here. I was like, holy shit, I can't deal with stupidity. That's why I left EMS. And then somebody was asking me about seniority. What is your seniority? You should transfer to Lower Manhattan. You won't be walking into apartments like that down there, hopefully. Rich costs. Not true. There are apartments down there that are shitty. There are old white folks that are just like, they save everything. And they have the same problems down there too. It's not about race. It's about psychological conditions. And there are a lot of people, unfortunately, that are psychologically broken. And this is what we have to deal with. Need trauma pay leave, man. Yeah, you wouldn't. Yo, what? It was bad. Some of the shit we deal with is dumb. You know, you deal with a lot of stupidity when you work for the city. If you're a fireman, you're a cop, you're an EMT, you deal with stupid people all the time. It's just what it is. And you have to get past you wouldn't, yo, what? You have to get past the stupidity part. You have to realize there's stupid people. You know? You just have to get past that. If you can get past stupidity, you'll be okay. I can't get past it. So I became a fireman. And then I see stupidity on a fireman level. Like, you know, dealing with people in the dumb shit. Is there a fire? Is there a fire in this building? I'm like, we come out in our shorts and shirt and a helmet on, and they're like, is there a fire in this building? I'm like, what fucking fire are we fighting in our t-shirt and shorts, lady? What fucking fire? Could you please tell me? What the fuck you think we were coming out of a fucking fire in this building? Do you see anybody else outside? And that's what I want to say. 90% of the times that people say that. The one time I did say it, the guy was like, you don't have to be rude. I'm like, it's not rude. It's like, use common sense. Why the fuck would we be fighting a fire in a t-shirt and shorts? This isn't Magic Mike, man. We're not fucking... Holy shitballs, man. No, Kane, you cannot fix stupidity. What time did the show start? The show started at 9 o'clock, Romy. I'm headed off to the Angry Truth channel. But yeah, there's just the dumb shit that comes out of people's mouths. Did you guys fix the elevator? We're not fucking elevator mechanics, lady. We don't fucking fix elevators. We shut them off, and then the mechanics come and they fix it for you. We do not fix elevators. We're not fucking plumbers. We don't fix your fire detectors because firefighters is in our name. Doesn't mean we fucking fix fire detectors, smoke detectors, excuse me. Holy shit, that's the dumbest shit you ask. How do I become a firefighter? Well, you go online, you apply for the job. Will I be, getting paid good money? It's a job. You're gonna get paid. Oh man, I'm scared of fires. Then don't become a fucking firefighter. What do I? Holy shit, man. It's just bizarre. Bizarre. So anyway, I'm headed over to the Angry Truth channel for more stupidity talk. People are dumb. People are stupid. So anyway, other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. I'm going to try to do a test Rumble tomorrow night. I'm going to try. I might cancel it. Depends on what happens. But just stay tuned to that and see if that can work and see if I show up on all three or both, at the same time. It's just a test. It might last like 10, 15 minutes. But anyway, guys, other than that, see you guys over at the Angry Truth and see the rest of you guys next week for the doubleheader. All right, guys, other than that, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it.